So this might be one of the quickest reboots of a franchise in movie history, because it really feels like just yesterday that mess of a Suicide Squad movie came out. Now to my surprise I looked it up and realized it's still been 5 years already. So not quite as quick as I thought it was, but still very quick considering how slowly Hollywood moves. Anyway, DC apparently decided to sweep that mess under the rug and move on. Which was the right choice, but they also decided to keep the only good thing about that movie, which was Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, so 2 good decisions there. Imagine that, a movie studio willing to admit their mistakes, but also not mess up the only good thing they did. That's rare, so between this and deciding to release the Snyder Cut, I'd say DC has some surprisingly competent people working over there these days. Now they just need the right talent to actually bring their universe to life, and I think we're golden. I mean, we also had Joker and we have the Batman on the horizon, so I think we're moving in the right direction here. And they of course also brought on James Gunn for this one, because they recognized his talent as well. And if you're unfamiliar with him, he's the man behind the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. That a lot of people loved, and I liked them as well, although not quite as much as some people. So I kinda tempered my expectations for this one, but I was a little bit excited, not gonna lie. And you know what? This one pretty much delivered exactly what I thought it would and hoped it would. A fun and entertaining movie that I thoroughly enjoyed, but I didn't love it. And I think that basically comes down to 2 things. The first one being the story itself. Because did I find myself invested in it? Not really. It's fine, it works, it does its job as sort of a scaffolding for the rest of the movie. Keeps everything from falling apart, but I don't think it gave me much more than that. And the other thing is the characters, because there are a lot of them, which inevitably means that the screen time for each one is gonna be limited. And when most of them are completely new to me, Harley Quinn being the exception, the movie is gonna have a lot of work to do, not only to establish those characters but also develop them. And I think it did a great job with the first part. It definitely established them. They feel unique, fun, and they are for the most part relatively memorable. However, I don't think they got a whole lot of development. A little bit, but not much. And yeah, a lot of that simply comes down to the sheer amount of characters here. So character development and depth is maybe not the movie's strong suit. What I did like though was the fact that this one isn't afraid of doing the unexpected. In fact, it likes doing it. It seems to almost relish it and did it a number of times. And that felt refreshing, especially considering that this is a comic book movie. And those tend to play it very safe and the outcome is almost predictable most of the time. With this one though, it felt like anything could happen, like literally almost anything was possible. So props for taking some chances and not being afraid to kill off some characters as well. Because that's another thing comic book movies don't like to do very often. And that makes everyone feel safe, and it usually doesn't feel like anyone's in any real danger. This one though makes it clear very early on that no one is safe and anyone could be the next one to drop. And I like that very much, it just makes the stakes feel a lot higher too. And yeah, in general, this movie was just a massive improvement over 2016's Suicide Squad. In pretty much every way imaginable, it's just much better all around. And I did have a good time with it, so I think I'm gonna give this one a solid 7. Boop. However, should you watch it? I mean, if you like some fun and surprisingly gory action, I'd say why not. So maybe give this one a peek, or maybe don't. After all, I'm not your dad. But hey, what are your thoughts on this? Have you seen it? Did you like it? Let me know. And if you enjoyed the video, maybe give it a thumbs up or sub to the channel, because that would be fantastic.